We'll call this commissioners meeting to order. Please join us in the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon, everybody. We will start with the minutes from our May 6th meeting. Has everybody had a chance to view those?
Second.
We got a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to approve the May 6th minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane. First on our agenda was Judge Freed. I don't see him in the room yet, so we will move on down to Highway Department Supervisor. Do you have anything you need to talk about today, Chris?
We had that meeting the other day. I'll just say something about that. One day last week, I don't remember what day it was, Dale, we had that pre-construction meeting for the road. His words was, we'll be ready to start as soon as we can get the quarry down there to crush the material for them to make the hot mix. So he said it's probably going to be towards the end of June, but they would start before that, I believe, if they could get the material. So that's something to look forward to, I think. Get a lot of people wondering why these roads are all, we've been digging around on them and they're fixed, but they're not fixed for them right now. But they'll be happy here shortly, I think. So, but yeah,
That's what's holding them up right now, is getting the
getting the material crushed.
materials.
They're ready to do it. They just don't have material to make the hot mix. So at least it's on them, not on us. So.
Yeah. While you're here, have we been able to help Mr. Savoy yet up at the county farm?
Yes, I sent the backhoe up there about a day and a half, we made it so he can get there. He can get to all them fields. I didn't actually go back after he left the second time but them 2 ponds that was there, he told me he got them all filled in. I didn't figure he'd get that done with the backhoe, but I sent Michael up there, carpenter, and he was by himself because that's all we had available to do it. But he spent a day and a half up there and made it so they could get in, filled in a ravine or 2 back there. I haven't heard anything from Mr. Savoy, so I don't know if he's been there to spray yet or not. There's still, even if you've seen that gravel bar there, you may have to do a little with him on that or something, because there's no way we could deal with that right now.
Yeah.
We've made it so he could get in and get out and should be able to get through it now. So it'll be that other deal to, maybe this summer we could get in there sometime and try and deal with that. I don't know, but
That's not the first time we've had that problem up there, and it won't be the last either.
no, probably won't be. But it is quite a bit better than it was. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I think he can live with it now and get in there to get his stuff done. And that's what we was after. So yes, we did get there.
Okay.
Anybody
Do you
else?
have anything you want to talk to Chris about?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, I do got one thing. When you start trimming trees, these little scrub trees that's out, can we cut them back against to the fences? And I know like on 750 West, there's a section of fence off of 50 North. The scrub trees are right out, grown out. If you pass a car, you're
Catching
bouncing
the
off the
tree.
trees. And it's nothing but scrub. And I
Well,
don't know if we can cut them back or not.
Of course, we've got that mower max. We could take it up there. I could send it there. And also this, just in the last couple months, we got that Kubota fixed with the mower, with the bush hog head on it. That whole boom was broke last year, and Chase McCombs welded it up, and Jerry fixed it. And it's good to go. We just have not gotten it out and used it yet. So
Right.
maybe on some of them, it might work better for that, so
Yeah.
I can send somebody there here when we get a chance, but, yes, we'll work on that.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them probably all over the county, but.
Yeah, there is. If you go right out here on the bypass, on the east side of the bridge, that big bank here, I asked them the other day, I said, hey, we're gonna take that Kubota over there and mow it, because there's some bushes. I said, you let that stuff go for a little bit, it's out of hand before you know it, so, some of that stuff just multiplies fiercely, so we're gonna work on that. I thought we would take the Kubota there first, because it's close to the department if something goes wrong. But, yeah, once we do that, we'll come out there.
Okay,
Good.
thanks.
Yep.
IT Department, Michael King. Michael?
Yeah.
It's time for the subscription on our firewall to be renewed, the license on it. I gave you the quotes there for the different options. The one that came in the lowest was from Dell for the 1 year. I'm just going to do a 1 year renewal for right now. The 1 year renewal on the advanced protection was $3,357.21. The next one up was $3,900, so it's $600 cheaper from Dell than it is anybody else, which makes sense considering SonicWall was their company before it split off, so it's still kind of their company. So I just want to get approval to get that ordered. Our subscription runs out at the end of the month, so I need to go ahead and get that processed. I could go ahead and get a 3-year subscription like I had before, but the new model of this firewall came out 2 weeks ago, and there are other options we could go with, but the year will give me time to evaluate. Do we go with a new model? Do we go with a different brand? You know, what our best option is. But the 2 weeks from when the new model came out to the end of the month wasn't enough time to really look at what the right answer was. So I just want to go ahead and go with a year renewal, continue with what we've got for another year, and then give us time to make the right choice. So.
I didn't bring my copy of that in here with me. I left it in the office, but I was really surprised to see the difference in cost on all those options.
Yeah, the 3 year, to get 3 year, it was I think 8,000 something from Dell. Yeah, 8,057, so we save about $1,200, $1,300. But I don't know that we want to stick with the same firewall for another 3 years,
Yeah.
or if we want to go with a new model. I don't know what the differences are, what improvements they've made, or if they've made just little improvements, or if they've made sweeping improvements. I don't know yet.
So you think we're okay to stay with our current version for another year?
I think we'll be okay for another year for sure, as long as we keep up with the updates and the security subscription that has the antivirus and all the packs that go with it. But if we didn't keep those up, then no, we wouldn't be okay.
Okay. You know more about it than I do.
And they had an option from Dell for to upgrade to the 3800, which is the one that just came out, and have the 3-pack of the protection for 11,000 and change. Basically, you get the firewall supposedly for free. But I'm just not sure about the new firewall yet. I have to really take a chance to look at this stuff.
So your recommendation was Dell Technologies?
Well, yeah, it's
The same one?
yeah, it's basically the same company. It's $6,000. It's $600 cheaper than the nearest competitor. So
Right. I'll agree with Michael to go with the Dell for the 1 year, $3,357.21 for a firewall protection.
Second.
Dell.
Okay, we have a motion by Tracy, second by Dale to approve another 1-year subscription for the Sonic Wall firewall protection in the sum of $3,357.21. Any further question? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, James. There you go.
I'll give that process today. Anything else for me?
I think so. Thanks.
Keith?
Sheriff Jones, do you have anything today?
Nothing at all.
Okay. County Surveyor Bill Mackey, do you have any?
No, I don't. The
Okay.
judge has came in.
I didn't know he can, okay. Judge Freed, did you have anything you wanted to discuss today?
Yeah, a couple things. First of all, I always like to open when I can by telling you I don't want any money. It always seems to set things on the right course. I had 3 things pending before, and I went to the council with this the last time. The 3 issues are, first of all, come to beg apology on a technical aspect that we always ask, of course, this body, before we make a grant application. And what had happened was the DOC grant, which the sheriff and myself and Dirt Court and Prosecutors Diversion Fund and Community Corrections, you know that big one, the big one that everybody gets a piece of that one. We had, in the previous cycle, also had an IOCS, that's an Indiana Office of Court Services grant, for travel and payroll. And they had a concurrent application process in the year before, not this immediately previous year, but the year before that. And so when we sent a representative from the board for the DOC grant over, it was one application process for 2 different pots of money. But then last year, IOCS separated themselves out from DOC for political reasons, I suppose, that it's above my pay grade. I don't know why they did that. So it was an identical application, but it was technically a separate application. So we actually did send 2 separate applications up, which we had not done the previous year. So when Steve from Community Corrections came over to tell you, that we were ready to send in the IDOC grant, you approved it. As a matter of course, obviously, free money. It wasn't made perfectly clear that he was also speaking about our IOCS grant, because the last time he came in here was actually technically a different thing. The previous year when he'd done that, it wasn't technically a different thing. It was 1 grant application. Now it was 2 identical grant. Okay, you get what I'm saying here? It's just a technical issue. I just didn't want to mislead the body. So technically, we didn't specifically ask for permission to apply for the IDOC grant. I already got the money. If you want me to send it back, I will. No? Okay, good. So, I don't know if that really requires a vote, since I'm here to basically beg forgiveness and apologize rather than it's already a done deal. Okay. The second one was we had money that was granted to us in the previous cycle for payment of to reduce comp time hours accrued by Brandon Burgess, my drug court coordinator. We already have that money. In fact, we have more than enough, about $12,000 in there. And there had been some grousing around about it, but it was discussed in the council meeting. I think you were there as an observer. And they did vote to allow it, but out of courtesy to this body, they said it was a contingent vote, that they did want me to come and tell you that that was our intent with that money, which is why we asked for it in the first place. I just want you to know we're not sneaking one past the goalie here. When we put in for that money, we told the people we were seeking the money from very clearly, in writing that that's what we were gonna use it for. So we're playing between the hash marks here. We're not sneaking around spending that money on something that doesn't really fit with the way we applied for it. It fits perfectly. We told them explicitly. So the council's changed their mind on that. That money's been sitting there for a year and a half now. They voted to allow it contingent upon the opinion of this body. So I guess I would like a vote on that, since I'm sitting on a contingent vote from the council to allow the IOCS grant money that was appropriated in the previous grant cycle to be used to pay off comp time accrued by Brandon Burgess. That's the motion that I would like to have.
Okay. If I understand all this right, the problem seems to lie with there's a conflict of interest between the county handbook and the conditions of the grant that you've already received.
Yeah,
And-
just to some extent, yeah.
Therein lies court officers are allowed to be under a separate handbook. And is it my understanding that you are in the process of coming forward with your own?
Yeah, we're gonna have that by the end of the month. I mean, it's just days away, yeah, and it's not gonna include that language in ours, yeah. So, I have an unrelated section, it's not related to that at all, that we're still working on just a little bit. That's the only reason there's a holdup. It's 99% complete right now.
Okay, would language pertaining to comp time be in the court's handbook?
It would just be deleting. I can put something affirmatively in there that says, we can do that at the court's discretion. But I was just going to delete the language. It wasn't going to be, it was a, proving a negative sort of thing. I wasn't going to have the language that you have in the current county manual saying that you cannot do that. That was just going to be omitted and not spoken of, so therefore that leaves it open to the discretion of the executive, which would be Judge Bernstetter and I. But if this board feels more comfortable about there being a sentence in there that specifically says this is allowable at the discretion of the court's executive branch, if that makes it more palatable in some way for you, I mean, to state that affirmatively in there, I can do that.
Here's what I'm worried about. Doing specific carve-outs for certain individuals versus just changing the language, which would affect everyone. And there's some cases, I understand this one, I think that there's money in your grant that specifically allows this to happen.
That's right. Not general fund money at all. This
Yeah.
is all money we got gratis
Yeah.
from our benefactors, yeah.
But we simply can't, I don't want to do anything that makes everyone else in the building think they can do the same thing, because we just simply can't do that.
Well, I guess if they'd go out and hustle a grant somewhere or another and get the money and not have to come from general fund, and then
Yeah.
maybe they could.
Well, and good luck with that.
Well, yeah, I know, I write grants from time to time, I know it's
Yeah.
hard to do, so, yeah. But that's the fundamental difference, and, yeah, so we had this debate, I think you were there as a guest, I know, when I went through this with council, and it was, it was talked about, it was debated for quite a bit, but it did end up getting the vote. They thought that was sufficient for an exception to that rule, as it was not regularly appropriated funds, 100% non-general fund, it was all 100% grant money. So that was the distinction, I think, that carried the day with your sister body.
Okay, well, I guess my question right now is, do we approve a special exception for the drug court in this case? Or do we wait for the judge to include the language for this in the handbook that he is preparing for the courts? which would be the best way to go on it?
If it makes you happy, I mean, you can, like your brothers and sisters in the council body, they did a contingent vote. You could do a contingent vote that you can, if you erect a policy handbook that's lawful, that allows it. So then there could be no disbursement of that money until I had that on the books.
Yeah,
I mean, you could do that, that would tighten it up. It'd say no for now, but without further approaching the body, the disbursement may be made as soon as there is a lawful court services handbook published that allows such a thing. That way, then you're not really making an exception to your own rule. You're saying no for now, but in a week or two, when I get this published, there would be a lawful paper trail that would allow such a thing, if that makes everybody's heartburn a little less.
okay. Now let me ask this question of our auditor. Jane, would an arrangement like that protect you from being, incurring violations with the?
For audit purposes for State Board of Accounts, if he has a policy that allows it, we can do it, and that's not a problem.
Okay.
That's your question.
Otherwise, you would be at risk of,
Unless you guys make a special exception right now in this meeting, yes, I can't violate your policies.
all right. So then it's either a special exception or give preliminary approval pending the court services handbook.
Wouldn't that be the best, is to have it
It's fine.
in writing?
Probably is.
That way.
Probably is. That's fine.
everything's
That's fine
covered.
with me if you want to go that way. That's fine.
Yeah, and to clarify on your handbook, it will be inclusive for everyone except for community corrections, is that correct?
That's right. They're not in my chain of command.
That's why I was trying, it's very,
That's
that
an
the whole
independent
justice system
organization.
is complicated.
Yeah, they're not in my chain of command, right?
Okay.
Probation is.
Yeah, Okay.
CASA Victim Services is. Drug Court is. And of course, my immediate chamber staff is, as is Judge Banstetter. But Community Corrections is not in my
Okay.
chain of command. They are an entirely independent organization.
okay, I think it's a good idea. I guess I'll make a motion then, based on what we've heard, to, pending getting the judge's handbook with that policy in place for that payout for Brandon as drug court coordinator, to get his comp time paid out from the grant money.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Tracy, a second by Dale to, correct me if I'm wrong here, Tracy, approve the drug court comp time payout pending proper language and the soon-to-be presented court services handbook. Is that what you want to say? Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane.
You did second that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't hear it.
Yep. We got two deals, it gets confusing.
If it's wrong way.
Yeah, right, there you go. Third thing, and I approached council about this, but I think this probably, because it's property, it's more of your bailiwick, was this old Explorer that's been deadlined over there for more than a year with flat tires and all that rigmarole. We're told by the people that parked it that it's really not in that bad a shape, but it needs some stuff. Obviously, it needs tires and, who knows, probably some plugs and fuel pump, who knows what it needs, but it was thought for maybe $1,000 or something like that, it could be made seaworthy again. And Brandon needs and Alicia too, but Brandon does most of the away work as far as doing home checks and work checks on people. He's been driving his big old four-wheel drive Dodge pickup truck, unreimbursed the whole time he's been here on that. So we would like to have that kind of vehicle assigned to us since it's clearly not being used by anybody. And of course, with our user fees and grant money only, we would be wholly and entirely responsible for anything it needs. And if we don't have the money to fix it, insure it, then it sits. we'll not be asking you for any money. If it blows up, we'll drag it back over the deadline and put it back where we got it. But if we can pay everything that costs to run that thing out of our internal funds, no appropriations from y'all or council, we'd like to have that vehicle assigned to us. Instead of just sitting there rotting down. We're buying a pig and poking a little bit. We've got some people saying, yeah, it didn't run too bad. And
You know,
so we think we can get it going again. We may find out different. But like I say, worst case scenario, when we cost more than we think, and we'll just push it back where we got it.
yeah, if you don't want us to pay for trying to fix it up for you, that sounds like a better deal.
Yeah, we'll give it a shot. If we think it's not worth it, or we just run out of money, because we're not made of money up there. But we've got a couple grand probably to, get it seaworthy. And if we can do it, if we're able to do it entirely on our own, no money from you, that's my pledge to you. I'll never ask you money for that. Then I'd like to have it assigned to us under that condition.
That particular vehicle originally was used by probation.
That's right, that's right.
And when they got a new vehicle, somebody pitched the keys to Brandon, and, we didn't assign that to the driver.
Yeah, they let him drive, and there was an old Jeep too, one of the old, not Wagoneer, but whatever it was, that white one, where can I say it? Cherokee. The plain Jane slab side Cherokee. Well, that left him stranded at Indianapolis one time. Luckily, I knew a police officer downtown took care of him, otherwise he'd been standing in the rain for half a day. Yeah, but then after that, they had that one, and they'd let him use it from time to time. But he just needed, he does this stuff every day. So, it's one thing to be borrowing a vehicle, and I'm very happy they allowed us that. I guess they kind of do work for me. Nominally speaking, the boss asked for a favor and he got one, I suppose, but certainly can justify, it's a daily use thing. It's, he needs it. He does. He's needed it since the beginning, really. But when I approached the council and yourselves about this, when we started the program, we didn't have any money. It was just straight grant money, categorized. They didn't give us any money for that. But your program user fees is wide open. So we have a little pot of money that's built up now to take care of these incidental maintenance costs and things, which we did not have, let's say, 5 years ago. So that's what's changed. Because I was asking for a car and I wanted you all to pay for it. Now I'm asking for a car that's got a couple flat tires on it that's sitting dead for a year, that I'm promising to pay 100% of anything it costs, if we can just have it assigned to us as our charge, so to speak. And they don't want to use it anymore. Nobody over there, community corrections don't want to use it, and probation doesn't want to use it. They got nicer vehicles than that to drive.
The user fee also pay for the fuel.
Yeah, we can do that.
I'll move to approve a transfer over to the drug court.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy, to assign one Ford Bronco vehicle.
I think it's an Explorer. I think it's an
Oh,
Explorer. I think
Explorer.
it's an Explorer,
Okay.
an older Explorer.
Ford Explorer vehicle to the drug court. Any further questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane.
Very well. That's it for the asks. I will say, and as your colleague here is on the Public Defender Board, I don't know if you'd spoken to any of your fellow members lately, but it's a 3-person board and you're the last one left. I don't know if you knew that already. Mr. Johns has resigned. He's moved to Tennessee. And Ralph Eldridge, who served dutifully for many, many years, He hasn't lived in our community for 6 years now.
Yeah.
We moved to Fort Wayne a long time ago, but that just shows how much civic-minded it was for Connersville. Even hadn't lived here for 6 years, and he kept serving on our board
Yeah.
as president, no less. But he's finally had enough, and he called me and said he had taken some sort of, in his retirement, some sort of stout position in the national body of his church. Church of Christ, I think, I don't know, but regardless, it was gonna take a lot of time, so he can't do it anymore. So he gave me notice. We did have a couple people, we've been shopping around, I know it's hard to get people to do it. We had Gary Smith, former recently retired attorney, I think everybody knows Gary. I asked him if he'd be interested, obviously.
I don't know.
Highly qualified. No, I asked him to see if, just to feel him out, see if he'd be even, well, he's 81 years old. I wasn't sure how anxious he was to
Yeah.
do something like that, but he said he would.
Really?
Yeah, so he said he would. And then a fellow that's, I think, well-known, more to city government than county government, but is, I think, a well-trusted guy, a former parks director and utilities director, Mike Bottomley. You guys know Mike?
Yeah.
Right, another, I think, well-known, trusted, stand-up guy, said he would take Mr. John's position if it were offered to him. So I think I've already found replacements. If you find them suitable, that's something you're gonna have to work out with Ralph, I guess.
Yeah. I haven't seen anything from him, but he
This
may
just
have.
happened.
Okay, all right.
He was just a couple days ago.
Okay,
But that really wasn't on the agenda for today, but
Okay.
because it's
But
you,
thank you for that.
I just wanted to let you
Yeah.
know. So you're a board of one right now.
vulnerable.
So, yeah, and then we've got contract issues with that, so that there is some issues. You can talk to Ralph about that. I sent
Okay.
him a thing. I didn't know if he forwarded that to you or not. We're bumping up against our limits on our kickback money, critical levels, and he, yeah, you want to talk to him about that. That's outside the scope of this board. Basically, I'm talking to you,
Thank you.
Ms.
for
Beaver,
that.
just to get you up to speed since I'm standing here. Anything else with me, though?
You got any get out of jail free cards?
They don't let me give them out anymore. They took it,
Okay.
yeah, they took it away from me.
Well, you never know.
I'm
when I might
out.
need
I'm
one.
out. All right, then. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Judge. Anybody got any mail they want to share? We got any old business we need to pick up? Okay, under new business, Tricia Atkins is here with a public resolution for public transit. Trish, you want to tell everybody about what you're up to here?
Yes, I'm actually working on the 2026 grant. So I didn't know, they changed it this year. Normally, when the pass-through is at Union County, we just did a resolution, and when the pass-through was with you all, you did a resolution. Now that the pass-through is at Union County, but the service area is Union, Wayne, and rural Wayne County. Union, rural Wayne, and Fayette, I have to do a resolution with both of those counties. And that resolution really is just saying that you're allowing public service transit, rural transit here in your county to operate. It's just a one-page for you all to look through, and I think Jane is the one that looks at it as well, but I've made enough copies for all of you to look at it. My grant was due last week, and I made the deadline, but everything but this and Wayne County, because I didn't catch it, so. And all this is just saying that you are aware that we're gonna manage the 5311 program through your service area. And then since I was here, I thought I would let you know that that grant, we're building that 5311 grant for those 3 locations for $1.1 million. That's the operating grant. The capital grant, we're actually adding 3 more vehicles to our fleet. And that local match was committed by Union County Council on Aging. 2 medium transits at $124,000 each and a minivan for $75,000. So next year, which the same as this year, they're doing an 85-15 split. So we have to come up with that 15%, not here asking for money. Our Council on Aging had some money tucked away, and the $48,450 for the local match they committed already. So I thought that was kind of important to let you know that we are adding to the fleet. We're not doing a replacement to try to help cover the service. And also with that, last time I was here, I think I told you that we was up to 16 drivers. So now we're about at, I have 2 more in training, so I'm about at 19. So I think that is helping us cover some service as soon as I can get them all trained and on the road. We did shut down 2 half days last week, ran minimal routes and retrained on passenger assistance training. I kind of realized that we needed to kind of hone in a little bit. We can bring in a whole bunch of new people on and making sure your training is good. So we had RTAC and NDOT come in, and we retrained on wheelchair securements and just general policies of curb to curb, door to door service. So we did perform both of those trainings last week on Thursday and Friday. And then just since I was coming, I brought an updated list of what the ridership looks like through May, through yesterday of May for the whole first quarter. So I just thought I'd bring it to share, even though the resolution was really the foot to get in the door.
We appreciate that. And if you can, tell you, if you can keep as many drivers as you have vehicles, you're doing good.
Right, I agree.
And
And it honestly, Dale, it takes, and you know this as well, it takes a certain person to do that. I actually hired a gentleman a few weeks ago and just getting ready to turn him out loose on his own, and he came in and resigned. He just said, I don't think I can do this. I'm just not, I mean, it takes it's a lot of responsibility, as you know, to secure them and, mobility devices and handle, it's a lot of responsibility, and not everyone's cut out for it, so. But yes, if I could get all those vehicles full, that would be great.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, that's for sure. Okay, so do I understand correctly then that now that we're in the Tri-County region, Wayne County Commissioners and Union County Commissioners alike have to approve the same resolution?
The exact same resolution. The only thing that changes is the commissioner's name. All 3 of you is exactly the same. There's a little bit added into Union County because they're the pass-through that the State Board of Accounts requires us to do, but this resolution for me anyway is new. I've had Wayne County in my service area since I've been here, and I've never had to do a resolution for them. So I don't know what that change and what it was, but it's here.
Well, that's the way it is with any of this. Once you get used to the way things work, somebody changes the rules.
Yes, so I had my grant all prepared. We've had like 45 days to do it. I was ready to go, getting ready to hit the submit button. I couldn't find it. Well, you can't submit it if you don't have all your documents. And I was like, oh, well, I didn't realize I had to have those, so they got me.
Okay, what's your pleasure on this resolution?
I have one question. Does it need a number up here? There's a spot.
Dale's, the
You
original
got the
does.
number? Okay.
It's 25R4.
Oh, you got it on our, okay. I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy, to approve the authorizing resolution 25-R-4 for the Federal Transit service in this area. Any further questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes. You want to take a signed copy back with you?
I think if Jane just wants to email it to me, that's fine. We're gonna upload it anyway, so I think it'll be fine if she wants to.
When that says recording officer, is that what the commissioner's signature, or is that what?
No, that's you.
Mine is, okay,
I think they have to vote for the resolution and then you sign off
I
as
sign
the
it.
recording officer.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll scan it and email it to you.
that's perfect. No worries. Yep.
Thank you.
Anything else you guys need from me?
I don't have anything. Anybody got anything?
Thank you for the
You're welcome.
report.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Well, thanks very much.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there any patron concerns in the room today? Harry, you're smiling about something. You got... Don't want to tempt you too bad there. We do have Dan Parker and Brad Colder in the room. Dan, would you like to... Have anything you'd like to share today?
I didn't want to leave my lofty position without appearing before you and thanking you for all the support over the years. It's really been appreciated. And I wanted to first of all, thanks to our good friend at the Connersville News Examiner, who is taking notes right now, Mr. Hanson. He made it pretty clear to the entire community that Brad was going to be replacing me. I'm retiring, believe it or not. I'm almost old enough to retire. But Brad, why don't you come up here and say a few words to the people viewing this on TV3 and here in the room.
Howdy,
Hi, Brad.
it's good to be here. I want to say a couple words about Dan. You know, thank you for your service to the community. How many years?
11.
11 years, that's a long time to be able to last in a job like this. And, you know, a lot of the world of economic development is behind the scenes, sort of building a foundation and building blocks so that you can have successes like we're getting ready to have this week at the grand opening of Nova Circular Solutions. You know, Dan has been tediously, quietly behind the scenes building blocks over the years, and in a lot of ways that allowed this success that we're getting ready to have. So I appreciate you guys listening to me today. I'll be here. I don't know how often you want me to come be grilled by this body, but I'll be glad to be here as often as you like. And over the next number of months, I'm learning and just trying to be a sponge and absorb everything that everybody's telling me and get to where I can knowledgeably speak about this job. So how often would you like to see me come in and visit?
I'd kind of like to, some type of report, like maybe once a month, once every other month, something like that. So
Okay.
we just got an idea of what's happening.
Okay. Alrighty. Of course, you all know how to reach me if you have any concerns or something you want me to work on. I've already talked to Dale about a couple of things.
You got your business card with you?
Dale and Dale, actually.
You just gotta meet with me now.
That's right. Okay.
Well, while you're here, Brad, I'll bring this up. We talked briefly about this before the meeting. There is also the Eastern Indiana Regional Planning Commission that our own EDG works very closely with. And we have managed to keep Dan Parker in both positions. So for the sake of continuity and efforts, that involvement is important. So would you think it'd be a good idea that now that you're the new EDG director, that you also serve as a board member to the Eastern Indiana Regional Planning Commission?
I do, and you know, it's not automatic that you send me there, but I know that there are some directors that don't attend. But in my situation, just with the networking and meeting the people that serve on that board, I would like to.
Okay. But we do have an empty slot that we could use here. So, you know, I guess my question to my colleagues would be, do you want to give our new EDG director that additional exposure for the region?
I'll move to put Brad into that position if he's willing.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay. We have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy, to appoint Brad Coulter as a county commissioner appointment to the Eastern Indiana Regional Planning Commission. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jamie.
Thank you very much.
Our next meeting, I can't tell you when our next meeting is right now. I've got it on my calendar, but we'll make sure you get an invite.
I will make him aware of that.
Okay.
I'll continue to be the board chairman of that organization. Maybe the public may not know this. They hear economic development, I think it's just one big happy family. 2 separate organizations, 2 separate boards. So our next meeting is in July, I believe, so you'll get an official invitation to come to that.
Well, Dan, I know you could testify that the importance or the convenience of being involved with both those organizations. They do work pretty hand in hand. in a lot of ways.
The region, the Regional Planning Commission is very important for infrastructure. We can't get EDA funding without a authorized, and it's authorized by the governor, planning commission to go after those types of funds. So it is very important. And we've been in a rebuilding mode for almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years next summer in 2016 since the organization was formed. And there are staffing requirements and different types of employee needs to really qualify for the EDA funds. And we're this close to getting what we need to be for our organization to have EDA funding. Anyway, thank you for all the support.
I would think for clarification, it would be good for people to know exactly what counties are involved in that, Eastern Indiana.
There are 6
Okay.
counties,
Okay.
Randolph, Henry, Wayne, Fayette, Rush, and Union. That was an Alzheimer's test and I passed.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Well, thanks for coming in, guys.
You bet.
That wraps up our agenda except for claims and payroll.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to approve claims and payroll. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes. Okay, that concludes our business for today, unless we're forgetting something. Forgetting anything, Jane?
So,
You sure? Yeah. All right.
Move to adjourn.
Second
We
that.
have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you all very much.